Joey, we'll start with Nico. What are your points of emphasis for him this spring? What steps do you want to see him take this spring over these next few weeks?
Yeah, physically we've been working a bunch on just refining his body, getting himself in great body positions. He's so athletic that sometimes he's able to get away with being in bad body positions. So we've been really critiquing and hard on ourselves as far as, all right, yeah, you can make that throw, but are you in the best possible position you could get in this moment? And then adding weight and strength onto him has been great for you. He's committed to that. He's doing a great job there. And then on the mental side of it is making the shift from knowing the plays, knowing your protections, to understanding why are we calling these plays in certain situations, what are we trying to accomplish when we use this motion or this formation. And it's fun to watch him dig into that and really become a quarterback as opposed to just a talented young player.
Keep it with the quarterback room or your early impressions of Jake Merklinger.
Say that one more time. Sorry.
Just keeping it with the quarterback room, what's your early impressions of Jake Merklinger?
Yeah, really athletic guy, high intelligence. Guys love him already. He's one of the guys that just kind of fits right in and gets into the mold. Picked it up really, really quickly, which was great to see from us. A lot of times with young guys, you think you know going through the recruiting process, but until you get them in there, you get them in the room, you start working on them and seeing them take it to the field. He's going out there and calling his protections correctly, calling the plays, getting us in the right play and right check. So it's been good to watch him do that. It's impressive for a young guy.
Joey, I know today's just the first day in Shales, but overall impressions of Lance Hurd, both through the winter conditioning and now that you've kind of got out there on the practice field a little bit.
Yeah, Lance, when you look at him physically, really big guy. He can move really well. All the athletic traits are there that you want. All the physical traits are there that you want. Smart kids picking things up quickly. It's just for him transitioning to playing with tempo and understanding the way we play. That's always what it is whenever a guy comes in, no matter how much experience they have at another university. Transitioning to the way we play just takes a little bit. So he's pushing through it, and he's doing a good job.
Coach, what's your early thoughts on your new additions in the wide receiver group, and how good is the competition at that position going to be this spring?
Yeah, we got a lot of talented young players. Similar to the last question, a lot of it is just learning how to play the way we play, playing with speed, playing with tempo, and not letting that slow you down on the back end where you're trying to figure out what to do. That's been the challenge for all the young position players is while you're going out there and trying to figure it out, cut it loose. Like, you have to cut it loose. You can't make mistakes half speed or we can't gain anything from it. So that's been our huge coaching point at every position. But we got a lot of young, talented wideouts. The competition is awesome. It's one of the best I've seen in spring break. There's not a lot of solidified guys going. It's everybody out there fighting for a spot. So rep after rep after rep, you're getting everything from somebody. Nobody's pulling back thinking like, I kind of got this spot. I take a couple reps off. Everybody's fighting to get on the field, which does nothing but increase the level of play on the field.
When we're out there, we see Nico communicating a lot with his receivers kind of in between, groups or sessions. How is he taking on that leadership role, not just with his group, but maybe offense-wide and team-wide?
Yeah, he's one of those guys that has that natural aura about him where people gravitate to him. They listen to what he says. It's a little bit outside his comfort zone to try to step out and get on somebody, which isn't really his makeup, which is fine. You don't have to do. There's not one way to do it. But when he talks, guys listen. That's the best compliment you could say about somebody. When you talk, the guys stop talking and they listen to what he has to say. And similar to the last question, we got a lot of talented guys. They just haven't played football together. So whether they're young, transfers, been in the program, it's a lot of guys trying to make their first push onto that field. So you just see a lot of them trying to get on the same page. All right, how did you see that? This is how I saw it. Let's make sure we're doing this next time. That's a big part of all those conversations you're seeing.
Joey, with the freshman skill players, do you usually see stages in spring that they go through of when they're really confident or when they seem overwhelmed? How does that usually go down?
Yeah, it's probably different guy to guy, but overall, you would say a lot of times the first couple days in spring can almost lull guys to sleep because the installs are very light. The looks they're seeing on the back end aren't super exotic yet, and they start feeling like, okay, I figured this college thing out. And then you get into that second block of work, and now here comes all the other stuff, and wait, I've never seen a safety do that before, and where's that pressure coming from? And maybe guys kind of take a step back and, oh, wait, maybe I don't have it figured out. That's been the push, coming from me and from our whole staff is you can never get lulled to sleep by one good practice, by one I didn't have any bust today, no MAs. Every day you have to reset and attack it like it's the first time you're going over it because as much as you think you have it figured out, you don't. Like third-year guys don't have it figured out. You're still pushing to try to get that last little bit of knowledge that gives you something to make the play on the field. So in answer to your question, I think it kind of goes like, I feel super confident, man, maybe I don't have this quite as much as I did, to as you're leaving spring, you should start having that feeling again, which will carry over into the summer work, into the fall camp.
On Monday, Coach Heupel was talking about Nico's growth in that leadership role. How have you seen it grow over spring practices so far this season?
Yeah, just him being more willing. Not that he was in a shadow last year, but with Joe coming in, he always wanted to be really respectful and not like try to step out, overtake him in any step like that. But he's been actually more willing to just step out and like, all right, I got this. Like sometimes you'll go to say something to a wideout or a tight end or a running back, and he'll just kind of grab him first and take him. So it's, for him, it's never super boisterous. It's never really loud. It's never overly aggressive. It's just him getting the information across. And like I was saying earlier, when he just talks, guys listen. He doesn't have to grab face mask, scream. Guys want to hear what he has to say because they respect the work that he's put in.
Speaking of Joe, he was out there this
Yeah.
morning. And then you also had, I saw Peyton Manning was talking to the
Yeah.
team. Just to have, VFL, these quarterbacks come back, what is it like for the guys to hear from them?
They love it. For Joe, like, man, he's everybody's friend. So everyone was just happy to see him again. And then the stuff that he's bringing, like, he's just falls right back into his old self. Like, he's helping coach up the young guys during individual about what he's seeing with their footwork. Then you get a guy like Peyton Manning come in and talk to the guys last night, and then met with the quarterback separately on his own. I mean, it's Peyton Manning. Like, there's not much more to say on that one, right? Like, he talks, everybody really listens. And he was just giving guys a bunch of great nuggets as far as the way he prepared, the way he went about his business, what his daily routine was, his weekly routine was. And our guys were taking pages of notes on it. So I think it's going to be something that's crazy beneficial for those guys.
Just what have you seen so far from Holden Stays and just skill set, ability, and what's kind of the biggest transition for him, obviously moving into a different type of offense?
Yeah, Holden, you see him when he takes the field, he looks right. You know what I mean? He's a good-sized kid. He runs well. He's picked up the offense quickly. It's just like I said when, the question about Lance, the young wideouts like Jake Merkling, like what is the question? We're just different than what he was used to in the past. So him getting into the way we play, seeing the signals, getting lined up, snapping down, all that type of stuff. He's doing a good job of it. That's just his push right now because he knows what the plays are. He knows what to do. He's got the talent, so now it's just figuring out the way we play, not what the play is, but how am I supposed to play within this offense.
I'm curious, what did you learn over the last year for yourself as an OC that you maybe take into this spring? Are you doing anything a little bit different? Is there some notes that you took from your year last year as a first-time offensive coordinator that you're taking into this spring?
Yeah, I think it's just like anything, like I was saying, like as you keep doing stuff more and more, you get better at it, right? That's why there's no substitution for experience. For me personally, it was making a commitment to like, all right, how are we going to react in different situations versus specific looks that we're anticipating that we saw last year that we think can carry over, and using this offseason to say like, all right, if we get this is what we're going to, and prepping our guys and all that type of situational stuff. For like, wait, why are we doing these plays? This isn't our base stuff. Well, we're doing this for when this eventually shows up. You guys are going to know how to respond to it. So it's been a lot of situational work and a lot of specific defensive structure look that we anticipate seeing in the future.
Sorry, Coach. With Darrell Sims, just kind of what's kind of been your impressions of him? How's that relationship kind of grown, and just what's his transition been like?
Yeah, first of all, he's just a great dude. Like, he's a great guy in the office. He has awesome energy. Everybody liked him, like, literally starting day one. Everyone liked that guy. He's awesome. His football knowledge is through the roof. You wouldn't know that this is his first spring ball with us. Like, he's out there. There's no, like, hey, make sure the backs know this. Like, no, he's got it. He's got it dialed in. Protectionally, run game, all the stuff. Like, man, that he's a ball coach, like, through and through. He knows football. Definition to me of a home run hire. Now that guy was big-time addition. Thank you, everybody.